The Spanish island Mallorca is ideal for holidays in the sun and for testing the Cupra Ateca in all kinds of road conditions. Car tester Klaus Niedzwiedz says compact SUVs like the VW T-Roc are popular, but says they're too tame for buyers who prefer even sportier handling. So Cupra, Seat's motorsports division, has rolled out something special, the Ateca. Now Klaus is going to try it out. Klaus has organized a little triathlon for this crossover SUV sport coupe. Off-road, country road, and racetrack, where the former race driver will push the Ateca to its limits. The first test, rugged terrain. Here the SUV is nimble enough. All-wheel drive and the high clearance do the trick. But equipped with on-road tires, it can't show what it can really do. Even with its higher center of gravity, the Ateca aces side tilts and inclines. Of course, it wasn't built to be an all-terrain vehicle, but for a crossover SUV, its performance is more than up to snuff. And the design reflects pure performance. On the way to the racetrack, Klaus checks how well it copes with country roads. He explains that the Cupra Ateca's engine actually comes from the Volkswagen GTI. That's part of Volkswagen's modular design concept. It puts out 300 horsepower, more than you generally need on country roads. But then it's always nice to have some power in reserve, he says. For example, when you need to pass quickly. Klaus finds nothing to complain about. He thoroughly likes the drivability, though the car understeers a little. Time to see what it can do on the track. On the Mallorca circuit, Klaus is able to push the Ateca to its limits. But first, here's a summary of the model specs. Klaus thinks the 400 Newton-meters of torque from the turbocharged engine is more than enough to exit tight curves at a good clip. He points out that the all-wheel drive also provides the traction needed to accelerate out of curves and get up to speed fast on straightaways. The thrust is put through a newly developed 7-speed DSG dual-clutch automatic transmission. Klaus confirms that the car waffles a little when turning through a series of back and forth tight curves, but says all cars do to some extent when you turn left and then right quickly. And with the higher center of gravity here, as in all SUVs, this one is no exception. But he has no trouble keeping it under control. The Ateca has a very smart all-wheel drive that sends the thrust where it's needed, he says. That makes for a well-balanced car and a very good, nicely tight suspension. It has various settings, and on the track, of course, he puts it on the sportiest one. The driving mode called Cupra is very responsive, and the suspension nice and tight. But that makes little sense for ordinary driving. The normal mode, on the other hand, saves fuel and gets the car through traffic less aggressively. Klaus decides that the company hasn't promised too much. The Cupra Ateca left a good impression on the track, but not many owners will be driving it there. By the way, in Germany, the base version starts at €42,850.